Hello, Flosstube. This is Michelle. Today is Saturday, the 29th of September, and this is maybe my 12th podcast. I'm not sure. It's going to be a really short one because it's Saturday. It's 5:30, and I haven't watched Priscilla and Chelsea today, and that's just an unnatural feeling. So what I want to do first is I want to show you the crochet projects that I've been working on really quickly. If you don't want to see them, just fast forward. And then I have just grabbed a bunch of stuff and I'm just going to show them to you as I get to them. The first thing I want to show you is the big red heart blanket. So this summer I've been spending a lot of time with my grandparents, and my grandmother has decades and decades worth of red heart yarn. My grandfather says she has $1 million worth of red heart yarn. He also says we could all go to Paris on a big family vacation for the money that she spent on red heart yarn. I don't know. So this summer I got this crazy idea that I was going to use it up. It's never going to happen. But I did take a lot of colors that I liked, and I made myself a really big blanket. It goes all over my queen size bed and hangs down at the bottom and on the sides. So I'm just going to show you some of the colors. I crochet pretty loosely now because I find that it makes the blanket more squishable. You can put it around you better. I don't like a stiff, hard blanket. This is Red Heart, which is a stiff heart yarn. And what I did for each of the two Red Heart blankets that I'll show you, I washed them individually by themselves in the washing machine twice. And each time, oh, can you let the dog in? Each time I filled the cup of fabric softener to the max. And then I washed them a third time, just a rinse cycle only. And that really made it fluffy and soft. It stinks to high heaven, a fabric softener, and this one's been done for a couple months. But so these are the colors that I picked for my blanket. Just the colors I like: browns, pinks, a little bit of blue, but it's enormous. It's very squishy. It's very nice, actually. Red Heart is not my new standard. Bella, could you take this up and fold it nicely and put it back in the linen closet? It's not my new standard for acrylic yarn or for yarn in general, but it worked out really well, and it was free. Then I made another neat ripple blanket using Attic 24's neat ripple pattern. For Mary Margaret's boyfriend, Jack, who has gone away to college. Mary Margaret's staying here in Georgia. And it's just these three colors. It's not his school colors. It's not his fraternity colors. It's just colors that I really liked and thought would be pretty together. This is Windsor blue. It's actually more of a Williamsburg blue than a navy blue. It's showing up more of a navy blue, but it's more of a Williamsburg blue. And then this is Frosty Green. Again, it's pretty loose, which helps keep the blanket soft, as well as drowning it in half a bottle of fabric softener. But it's huge. It's huge. All right. Thank you. The next blanket that I'm going to show you is by the Patchwork Heart. And if you look up the Patchwork Heart and beginner blanket, you should be able to find this. And I've started putting it together, so this is 8 colors of Stylecraft Special DK, and she shows you on her blog how to this is the first time I've ever joined squares together. I'm joining them in the back with a single crochet. I'm hoping I'm doing it correctly. As usual, I'm weaving in my ends at the last possible moment. There's 48 squares, And she shows you her method for making sure that the colors are evenly distributed among the squares. That's the back. That's the single crochet ridge. What I did is I looked at all her blog posts and all her Instagram posts, and oh my gosh, this is like a heap of spaghetti. I wrote down exactly what colors that she had in each square, and then I did process of elimination to figure out the rest. So I just have a list of what each square needs to consist of. Another blanket that I'm working on, I think there's a cat under there trying to get this, is my Holly Jolly blanket. This is another Attic 24 crochet pattern. This is the Cozy Stripe. I've made it before in autumnal colors that Lucy has on her blog. This is 8 colors of Stylecraft Special DK, and I'm doing them random within every 8 stripes so that the colors are balanced, but they're just random. So that's going to be my Christmas and winter blanket. And I really want to finish up one of those blankets soon because I want to do a pumpkin spice blanket. Probably not that peach. Using golds, browns, oranges, in Lucy's woodland stripe, and I actually don't think, well, maybe I'll use that one. Woodland stripe, which is a ripple that kind of has a feather and fan pattern. So I'm looking forward to starting that, but it would be crazy to start it before, or to start it more than I've already started it. Okay, that's all the crochet. That's all the non-cross stitch. So now I'm just going to show you things as I grab them. This morning I was at the Hawk Run Hollow stitching group that is held in Marietta, Georgia, once a month. And I was talking to Donna of D Squared, and we were talking about how Lori of Mischievous Stitches drags us into things. And Donna reminded me that I said I was going to start a stitch along on Monday with said Lori. This one, Elizabeth Mears. Do you see that big old white house? You're going to have to look this one up on the internet because this is not a great pattern. This one is done on exemplar linen. I wonder if I can get some exemplar linen by Monday. I think it's going to be much more colorful than this picture. I mean, the house is white, but I think these bands and the baskets of fruit and these flowers down here, it's just a really unique looking sampler. And so I'm looking forward to getting that done. I've had this for a long time, and what happens is Lori finds a design and people say, oh yeah, I have that too, and then Lori says, well, let's all just have a stitch along, and you say, well, okay, before you even know what's going on. Okay, this is one that I did last year because of Priscilla and Chelsea, and I ironed it, I starched it, I wet it, I cannot get that unwrinkled. It was, until a few minutes ago, on this frame, Jerry had this beautiful orange sweater. The back of it was this beautiful orange. The front was these stripes of autumnal colors. Mary Margaret said it looked horrible. It looked like something Eric Foreman would wear on that 70s show. And Jerry and I were like, yeah, that's probably why we liked it. It was very, 70s colors. But the moths got it. So this has been washed and dried and cedarized and lavenderized, and I dotted lavender oil all over it the other day. And this was hot glued to this so that it would look like Priscilla's. In fact, I did this and I thought, oh, I have a Priscilla finish. And then, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? It was the very day that Priscilla said, I'm sick of this, and she took it apart and redid it, but that's okay. I like it, and you're not having my coffee, Pussy Willow. My hot glue, I don't know what is wrong with my hot glue. It seems to, you're not having my coffee. This is Bridget, the Pussy Willow. Bridgie the Bad. Bridgie the Spawn of Satan. She goes by many names. My hot glue seems to dry really quickly before I can really get things stuck on. So I ordered some acid-free Eileen's Tacky Glue. I ordered it on Amazon because I can't find any in the stores that says it's acid-free. So I'll stick that on there. It was loosely stuck on there until I started grabbing things. So that was last year's cross stitch finish, and I put it, you know that meme that says, we know the world is not flat, because if the world were flat, cats would have knocked everything off of it by now. This is the school table, so there's lots for her to knock off. This is what she was chewing during my first take. This is a finish by this is a pattern by Not Forgotten Farm that I did several years ago. And I found a picture frame at Home Goods. It had a clipboard on the top, and we unscrewed the clipboard. I glued it very unevenly to some plaid. And these sit there when the cat's not messing with them. That's Not Forgotten Farm. So this, in my mind, is the boyfriend or the beau to Matilda Hornbuckle, who might get finished one of these days. One of these days. All right. I started, these are very much out of order. I started the 'Tis the Season Sal. This was light khaki, light mocha, maybe, that I darkened up a little bit. You can see my variegation in the Cardinal. I am using a combination of Belle Soie and Victoria Motto sampler threads. When I got the Victoria Motto sampler threads, I was really happy with the red. I heard somebody say today that it wasn't bright enough, you know, for their preference. It's fine for me. I like the red. You got two reds in the 'Tis the Season pack that are exactly the same red. I guess in case you're doing it with two threads over a larger count fabric. But I really like that red, and I'm glad to have an extra skein of it. The greens, however, I wasn't crazy about. The greens that I got. So I went ahead and got the greens that were recommended, the Belle Soie greens. And this green that I was stitching with, you can't tell there, but you can tell here it does have variegation that I like. And then this is the Attic Tea, and this is the Tortoise Shell. So I'm using all Victoria Motto sampler threads except for the two greens, and I went ahead and got the Belle Soie colors. So that's more affordable than buying all the Belle Soies. And I'm getting the variegation that I like, and I'm getting the colors that I like. I was given by the most generous Georgia Stitcher Mary Beale's Days of Advent sampler. It may be called sampler, it may be called design. It's enormous. I can't remember if it's like a Hawk Run Hollow piece, except I think there's like 24. And they're Old Testament stories. If you look up Mary Beale Days of Advent and look up Siobhan, or her Blue Hen Hollow blog, I don't think is still up, but you might be able to get, I know her Siobhan's is all over Pinterest. Her Days of Advent by Mary Beale. It's amazing. And it uses, I can't remember if it's 935, 936, and 937 DMC, or if it's 730, the 730 range of DMC, but I'm going to use these silks as my two main greens for the Days of Advent. So that's for Santa Sunday. 'Tis the season. You can see the variegation in my red bird. All right, so that's that one. Okay. I haven't been working a lot this summer on my regular 3-day rotation, the things that I've been working on for years and years and years, mostly because of Mania. Mania completely derailed me. I'm not upset about it really, but I knew I wasn't going to work on any of my 3-day rotation pieces, my long-term projects during May. I was going to start back in June, but I forgot until like the end of June. I completely forgot about them until June. So, and now I'm doing, so technically I have my 3-day rotation pieces. Then I am doing Mania. I'm working on a piece 2 days a week. And then I'm working every other day on a Halloween piece. That may not make sense, but basically what it means is I work on my Halloween pieces and I work on my Mania pieces, and if I get really excited, I work on my 3-day rotation. So I'm not really going to show you any of those because they don't have a lot of work done on them, but I don't think I've showed you this in a long time, and I am kind of still excited about this. This is the Cricut collection, The Promise Kept. This was either the first or second pattern that I hunted down on the internet back when I learned you could hunt down patterns on the internet. I love this. So, I mean, I love them all, but you know, I'm very fickle. So I didn't, this came up in my rotation last week and I didn't do it. And I felt sad, which is good, which is better than having something and feeling not happy about it, not happy about doing it. I'd rather feel sad I didn't get to it than upset that I am supposed to get to it. All right, so that's that. The other thing from my 3-day rotation that I stay pretty excited about when it comes up is Plum Street Sampler's 1,000 Hills. I was so excited when I saw it for the first time. It just gets more and more beautiful all the time. So this is 1,000 Hills by Plum Street Sampler, and it looks like a huge chart, and it's not really. Did you find that harvest sauce?
Are you still recording?
Well, yeah, but I just wondered if y'all had found that pasta sauce.
Really?
Okay. Bye. What's that? Oh, it's a blue flower. I was thinking that looks really odd. The colors are just beautiful. And it's not that big. It goes down a little further this way, but it's not as, this is half the width. So that's 1,000 Hills. Maybe you're wondering whatever happened to my Blackbird Designs Garden Club. Michelle Rudy is probably wondering, because I'm sending her the charts as I finish them. And I have 3 in an envelope to be sent. Jerry, will you help me mail those 3 on Monday? Mania derailed it. I still love it and I still want to do it. I'm doing 4 across and 3 down. I still think it's beautiful. I still want to do it. It's going to have to be finished next year though. And I'm using mostly the called for colors, except if I can swap out a Victoria Motto sampler thread, I'd do that. because I've got the primitive, I get the primitive club of Victoria Mono sampler threads. And I tell you, they look like the called for Blackbird Designs threads. I mean, they look like that color palette to me. Okay, so this is a Mania one. I work on it 2 days a week, every other week. This is the 1861 sampler. I work on it, oh, I was supposed to work on it yesterday and today, and then not next Friday and Saturday, the next Friday and Saturday. So 2-week rotation. It's from this book. It's from this book. And it's this 1861 antique sampler. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm doing it on a lighter fabric. This may be platinum. I'm not sure. I'm using the called for colors. I wish I had used a darker, more red color for the old brick. My old brick is very pink, which I love pink. That's not a problem. But if I had it to do over, I think I would have matched it up. My light's bad. You can't really see. I would have matched it up to a darker, but that's not going to bother me. So I really don't have that much more to go. Basically this section and then a little at the bottom. And I didn't realize how, I guess I've just been wadding up my fabric. But that's a Mania piece. Work on it 2 days every other week. This is a Mania piece that I work on Mondays and Tuesdays every other week. This, I have a working copy so I can keep my other copy really nice. See, here's my old brick. I mean, that's just as pink as it can be, but that's fine. I like pink. So this is where I am on Pink Sparrow Sampler. I've borrowed this from Laureate Mischievous Stitches. I work on it 2 days a week, every other week. And so far I've used the called for threads, except that is Autumn Gourds by Victoria Mono Sampler Company. And that I think was Pumpkin Patch, and I can't find it now. I can't find my pumpkin patch. So either I'm going to have to find it, or I'm going to have to rip it out and